guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, sorry for the harsh lighting. It's actually nighttime right now and I just got off of work. I just filmed like a little reading update on my reading vlog, but I wanted to do a really quick video of July's TBR. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been making a lot of TBRs and I feel like I haven't really been sticking with them, but I kind of like had like a little game plan for this month's TBR only because I have fell in love with the trilogy of Once Upon a Broken Heart, particularly A Ballad of Never After and The Curse for True Love, A Curse for True Love. And I just feel like I am like really set to make sure I do not fall into reading slump, so I kind of like kept it as like a certain pace, and just in case, because I do not want to fall into reading slump. When I like absolutely fall in love with a book, I noticed that I fall into one and I just wanted to make sure I don't. So without further ado, let's go into my July like pre-planned TBR and also a special book as well. So let's just jump right into it. So the first book I wanted to talk about is actually Daughter of the Siren Queen, and this is actually the second book of Daughter of a Pirate King, which I read like actually a really long time ago. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be too complex to fall back into, just because it wasn't, the book was like a pretty easy read to where I can kind of remember like the basics of it, and I'm hoping that this isn't going to be I'm not going to be completely clueless. As for some characters, I think I might have maybe forgotten them, so I might need like a little refresher, but overall I wanted to pick up something like more like summer based and more like adventure-y with romance. And the first one, I actually really liked the romance, so considering that I just fell in love with the romance for Once Upon a Broken Heart, I want to make sure I kind of keep that like interest in the book with like romance being included into the book, as well as like adventure and like fantasy. So I really made sure that this is like something that I can kind of keep on my TBR that I probably wouldn't fall out of. The first book was like really easy and I kind of just like breezed through it, so I'm kind of hoping I do the same. And yeah, so this is the second book and it's pretty much about, like, I've talked about this book so many times on my channel, but it's like a female version of Pirates of the Caribbean, and she's just like this bad pirate, kind of. I don't know if she's even a pirate now, but overall I can't really go into it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Also, I just want to say too up front, I'm probably not going to go like really in depth about the synopsis just because they do take a lot of time, but yeah, I want to be continuing this. I want to finish it. It's been on my shelf for so long and I feel like it'd be like a pretty easy like book to kind of get done because it, like, the font is actually pretty small, and the first book I fell in love with, and I actually liked the romance a lot in the first book, and this book kept me interested. So I want to make sure I still have like some type of romance on my TBR that isn't like a rom-com or like cheesy romance, but something where it's like fantasy, adventures, and fun, but there's like romance included. So that's one. And then the second book is actually a book I've already started. I think I'm like about 20% in. I'm not for sure like the page count. I have it on my Kindle. I'm gonna be honest, I had this on my TBR before. I even like was talking about it in a reading vlog. I ended up kind of DNFing it and I was actually kind of disappointed about it. So let me just go into it. It's by Maggie Stiefvater. I hope I'm not saying her name wrong. It's The Raven Boys, and the Raven Cycle series is like the first book. Everybody has like, I've ever seen like talk about this book, they've absolutely loved it, and they said it was like the Mortar Boys, and so that's what I was like kind of hoping for. Maybe I need to give it more time, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's just like her writing style. So I tried reading it, I only got to like 20% of it. I didn't get that far, but it wasn't like anything where I was confused. I think I just ended up getting kind of like, her writing style kind of bothered me a little bit, and I don't want to like say that off the bat like where I don't like her writing style at all, because maybe it was just the beginning of the book and maybe I'm just not understanding what's fully going on. So I'm debating about actually starting it over, but I do want to get this book done. I just have been wanting to read it, and I feel like it's a book I really want to like, and I think because I gave up on it, I'm kind of like disappointed in myself. So I'm gonna try to give it another try, and seeing that I've already started it and it was a pretty easy read, I want to try to get this done. I also do have a copy of it from Libby on my Kindle, so I'm just like hoping I can just try and see, like give it another try. So that is just something I kind of just really wanted to make sure I get done on this TBR. It's not like necessarily like a drive that I want to read, but I do want to, because a lot of people like adore this series, and I feel like I felt kind of disappointed that when I read it I was like, I don't know if I like her writing style. I don't know if it's for me, which made me feel kind of sad. So maybe I can give it another try. Maybe I just wasn't reading it right, or like I just wasn't giving it that much attention. I did hear people say that the plot wasn't like the most interesting, but the characters are what they fell for. So I'm gonna see like how I feel about that, because I think I just need to give it more time. So I'm gonna try to get this done. This is my second one. And okay, this was something I wanted to keep on my TBR because, like I said, I have been absolutely obsessed with Once Upon a Broken Heart, and so I'm like ensuring that I get a book done on my TBR that I am actually like really excited for and I fell in love with, and I'm just like really hoping that this will not give me a reading slump, because this is like my sweet treat to make sure I don't fall into a reading slump. And it is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and I am literally so excited for this. I don't want to jinx it, like, because I fell in love with Six of Crows and I'm just so excited to read the second one. But I am adding this because this is something that I heard that people absolutely love, and I'm hoping it is like truly like my favorite too. But I think it'd be like a good like safety net, because I loved Six of Crows and everybody says that between the two, a lot of people do like Crooked Kingdom a little bit better. So I'm excited to kind of see it, and like I just feel like if I have this on my TBR, it's safe. And I feel like, considering that I fell in love with the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, I just want to make sure that I don't fall into a reading slump, and I feel like this is my safety net. So I'm adding this onto my TBR. I'm so excited because it's like kind of a thicker book. I don't know how much I'm gonna really get done, considering if I want to read this and then these. So that's why I kind of kept like easy books on here just in case, because I want to still have books that I can actually manage to get done, as well as a book that's like a little bit hefty but a book that I've been really wanting to get done. So this is like something I'm absolutely excited for. And lastly is like a really amazing surprise. So I wanted to add like a graphic novel or something that's not really like a novel into my TBR, just to, because like I like breaking it up, because sometimes you don't want to just completely read a story. You want to do something that's like kind of light and like quick. And I actually just was offered like a really honorable I had like an email, and it was from an author who I just love this concept. So the author, I don't want to say the name wrong, so I'll put their name up here. But they reached out to me and they asked if I would be interested in receiving a copy of their book. This is not like paid or anything. They asked if I wanted a copy of their book and to kind of talk about how I feel about it, and or like even just talk about it. And I was like looking through it, and this is literally like my childhood, and I'll kind of go in depth about it, but it's called A Tome of Endless Romance, and I hope that you guys can see it. Like, I hope the light's not on it, but I was like freaking out. Like when I got this, it's my first hardcover that I've ever received by anybody. Like I'm so honored and I'm so touched that they reached out to me to get a copy of their book. I just feel like that's just so thoughtful. And okay, for me it's crazy. So it's pretty much supposed to be like a romance, but it's like RPG style. And they were saying, because I guess they do like games, or I kind of looked it up on their website, and they have like, they're called like MOBA Day games, I think. But the way that the novel is set up, it's like when I was younger, I was like subscribed to GameStop's like gaming magazines, and it was like Gaming Insider magazines. Those were like the things I looked forward to all the time. And I absolutely love anime. I loved manga, and I loved like little RPG games. So when they told me it was like that, I just thought that was the most coolest and like creative way to create like a novel, like a graphic novel. And it's like literally set up like, when you look up your characters online, you can see like little profiles, and it says like their personality, like their height, their age. And I used to have like a book just like that, and it was like a Naruto one, and I was like, that was like my most favorite book ever. I wish I still had that as a memory. But literally this was just like that book. Like it was just so cool. So I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna show all of it, but I'm just so excited. So the back says, love can be a fantastic addition to a gaming session, providing characters that feel alive, a genuine warm storyline filled with sweet embraces, or maybe a dark intrigue weaved by a dangerous yet alluring enemy. This book fills the gap in romantic RPG supplements and is intended for game masters. Tome of Endless Romance introduces a full roster of 50 non-player characters, along with their soft spots, moods, personalities, romantic backgrounds, and quests focusing on love. Yeah, I cannot fathom how thoughtful this was and how cool it is. I was like kind of skimming it, so this is like the back of it, which I actually feel like this is like really good quality. Like I was really happy. And the insides, like I was like skimming through the characters, and I love how they're like created. Like, so if you can look, okay, so I'm not gonna really like go in depth because I don't want to, like, if anybody is like interested, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I love like how they did all this, and like how they put, like, for example, background, personality, they put their race, their class, their age, their mood, their soft spot. I just think that's so cool. Like literally this brings out my like childhood obsession when I was like obsessed with like these games. I still am like obsessed with these games, but this is like so cool to have like a novel kind of just like that, like an RPG. I'm not for sure 100% if this is actually based on a real game, so I'm sorry if I'm like such a noob and I don't know that part. I'm sorry about that. But even just looking at this, even though I'm not like there's like a Hollow Knight, this is so cool. Like this is literally like the coolest thing ever. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not just saying this because they sent me a free book. I literally find this to be something so relatable and something I'm actually really interested in, and I just fell in love with it. I love like all the characters and the artwork that they put into this, and I love like how much in depth they made like these characters. Like they made them like, they illustrated them so amazingly. Like they put so much thought into their names, their personalities. Like they created these people as like individual characters. And yeah, I'm like super excited. Like I am so touched. I just thank you so much again for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity, because this is actually a book I'm super interested in, and it's something that's like I kind of grew up with, and it just brought back that feeling again. And to find that creativity of a book and then put it into something like that, like if you're into like gaming and also like reading, I just think that was such a cool like concept. Like it was just so cool how to like mix in the two. And I love the characters. Like I think they're so beautiful, and the way that they're illustrated is like absolutely gorgeous. And the thought that they like put into all these things, like all like the information, there's just so much to read about that if you just want something to like read, like a light read, I definitely would recommend it. It's so cool. So I'm gonna put this on my TBR because this is something I definitely just want to pick up and like read. And I like it too because it's not just like a heavy novel where like sometimes you just don't want to read a heavy novel, but you're not like wanting to just sit down and read like a graphic novel. I just think it's like a perfect mix. And also like being like someone who like loves games, I just think this was like such a cool concept. I thought it was so cool. Like again, I'm not just saying it because they sent me a free book. Like I actually, when they told me the concept of it, I was so interested. Like when I looked it up and I tried to see like other reviews, I was like so impressed. Like I was like, that is so cool. And then when I got the book, I was touched that it's like a hard copy and it's in like great condition. And I just think it's so cool. So it's like an RPG supplement book, but if you want something like that, I would definitely recommend it, and I'm gonna give this a shot and put it on my TBR. But so far, I have just like nothing but great things to say. Like I was kind of skimming it through a lot, especially because it's like right next to my work desk. So sometimes I'll just kind of skim and like look at the characters and like see the things about them, and they just put so much thought into their characters, like even their names and like how they're like made. I'm obsessed. Like these are literally characters that I could see in novels. I love the characters in this one, so I'm like curious to see like, do you have more, because I want to see the other characters. But that is on my TBR and I'm so excited, and thank you so much again. I'm like super honored. And yeah, that is it for my TBR. I kind of kept it like light and like sweet and try to like put thought into like what I chose this month, because I want to make sure I do not fall into a reading slump. I might even just add another book onto there, like if I'm not really feeling one of these books, such as like the Raven Boys. Not that I didn't like it like that, but her writing style was just maybe not for me, so I might consider it. Like I might even stray away from a little bit of my TBR, but for now these are like the ultimate like what I want to get done. But I'm glad I got to film like a really quick TBR, and I hope you guys are having a really good June July month so far. I hope you guys are having a nice holiday. I think 4th of July is, well, I don't know when this is gonna be posted, but if you guys did have 4th of July, I hope it's a really good 4th of July. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.